everyone, and welcome to this video on Küchlers Concertino in G major, opus 11. I want to work on this concertino, the first movement, on the basis of how to work at musical expression. And the most important thing in this is the form of the music, which themes relate to each other, in which way, and the most important thing, where is the music going? Music always goes somewhere, so you need to know where it's going so that you know where to play to. So we're going to start with the first theme. I'll play it. That's the first theme. Basically, it's pretty clear here that the music is going to this. So, although you start forte, it's important that it's clear that that is where you're playing to. Then he brings the first theme again, this time starting on the D string. I would do that probably with a little bit less sound so that I have space to open up again. So the second time the theme comes would be. That's where the music is going. So again, play there clearly. Make it clear that that's where the music is going. Now he brings a variation of the theme for the first time on the E string. So think about, you can play that forte, you can play that piano, but you have to certainly feel that we're going up onto the E string. So we're basically going as high as we can in the first position. I like playing that not so very loud because that gives me space to open up again. So and now crescendo. You see what he does here, he modulates to E minor, that's the parallel key of G major, and it's important to feel that modulation, that we're going from major to minor. So you have the major here, now open up, now the next section is eighth notes. In those eighth notes, what he's doing is he's doing a variation of the first theme. Remember, the first theme is. And what he does in the eighth notes is a variation of that. So it would kind of make sense to play it in a similar way. The first a little bit stronger and the second a little bit less strong. So you're now a little bit less. And now you can give more again. Again, he modulates to E minor. So show that. Now the second theme is in contrast to the first theme. That's very typical for a classical sonata form. And if you remember, the first theme is. And now we have a contrasting theme, far more lyrical. We have. Quite a different character. So it's important to exaggerate that a little bit because when you play, you know where you're going and what you want to do. But anybody listening doesn't know that. So just like an actor on stage, we musicians also have to exaggerate a little bit. So make sure you play that theme very lyrical. That's where the music is going. So make sure that's where you play to. Now he starts developing this theme. Now here, what comes is nice to do a little bit of an echo. And that gives you room for giving more again when you go. So all in all, what you do for the second theme is make sure you bring out the contrast to the first theme, very lyrical, and again feel where the music is going. And what you do is you do small little crescendos, decrescendos. They're not necessarily marked in the music, but they make it come alive. So that's where you can be creative about it, because you don't need to feel it the way I feel it. This is just an example of how one will work at something like that. You can change that. That makes it interesting. That's why it's interesting to listen to different people playing the same piece. Ideally, you don't get it twice the same. So what you do is very lyrical. That way you're telling a story. Very important. Always tell a story when you play the violin. What comes next are eighth notes again, and basically that's the transition back into the first theme. So basically what you're doing is you're moving from the second theme back into the first theme. Follow the line of the music, and also to show the C natural, which comes a little bit unexpected, so that that doesn't sound like it's an accident. So you have now a bit more, less. That C is important. And that lays the ground open for the first theme again. A little bit less. Now more. Now here he goes on differently to the first time, obviously, because he has to continue differently. So instead of modulating to E minor, what he does is he stops on the A. So if you have now more. It's almost like it stops with a question mark. Nobody knows what's coming after that. So show that a little bit. Then you have a melody in the piano part, and basically the violin is just accompaniment. So play it as accompaniment. It's not important. Now something starts happening. And now he goes into the second theme again. So basically what you're doing is you're moving from the accompaniment into the second theme. Make it clear that you're coming home there. Very important to play to the G. A little bit less. More. Now, I would suggest a little bit less sound so that you can open up again and give more again. And do the opposite of what you did before. That's interesting. That's the complete second theme. So sometimes it makes sense if you have one idea, if the theme comes again, then to do something different or do the opposite. That makes it interesting. So this time, if you have now, instead of doing the next part loud and then making an echo, do the opposite. Do this softly. And now more. And now even more. Now the next bit is eighth notes again. That's basically going into the end. So what you can do is you can even get a little bit faster there and play directly into the end. So basically what you're doing when those eighth notes come is that you're playing towards the end and into the end. Now I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you actually found this helpful and interesting. I've never actually taught something like that on a video before. Usually when I work with people who are in the room with me, we discuss these kind of things and we exchange ideas. So this was a little bit strange, just basically doing it into the blue, but I thought I'd give it a try. Let me know how you like it. Bye!